We are now video casting along with podcasting, so you can hear us, you can see us, you can talk to us.
Sound like a TV show.
We will be talking about the Coaches Roundtable.
And I see half of the game here, half of the game there, because I want to get eyes on these teams that we're ranking. Welcome to the Extra Point. Another illustrious guest in the house, the Jet House. Before I introduce you, how long have you been a Jets fan?
46 years.
46 years?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you're only 47, aren't you?
57.
57?
It happened about 11 or 12 years old.
Is that like drinking beer, an acquired taste?
Mm-hmm. No, I attribute it to lead paint chips.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Extra Point. Here at our Main Street studios, and a fellow Brighton High alum.
Go Bengals.
Go Bengals. Dave Blonquist, Vice President, member of the Executive Board, former president at Harriman, longtime volunteer. What else you do?
Board member at Bingham.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was on the executive board and
they let you on that board?
Manager. Yeah.
How did they do that?
I don't know. A lot of bribery.
That's what I thought. Dave, how many kids do you have go through the program?
One.
Where is he now?
Just got done playing college football in South Dakota, and he's a lieutenant in the Marine Corps now.
Well, bless his heart. Out there serving the country. Dave and I go way back, as you just heard, back to Brighton High School days. He's a little older than I am, and he looks it too.
Mm-hmm.
But we played for the same football coach, and I consider Dave a dear friend. I don't know. You feel the same?
Yeah.
All right, good. Okay, we got a couple topics out here that I know you like. And you and I, who better to discuss this than two fat guys? Talking about X-Men, talking about weights. And, when I played in the Ute Conference, and I don't remember if you were on the borderline, because he is actually a little younger than I am. Doesn't look it, but he is a little younger. We weighed in every Saturday. So if your weight limit was 100 pounds, you were allowed to gain a half a pound a week, and you weighed in every week. And if you didn't make weight, you took your jersey off, you took your pads off, you turned your jersey inside out, and you stood on the sidelines. You couldn't participate. Did you experience that?
I didn't. When I played, it was all based 100% on weight. It had nothing to do with age or anything. So if I recall, it was about in 6th grade I was playing with 9th graders.
Oh, that also happened too.
So
then the changes came in the X weight and the modification to that system, and we, as far as I know, have changed the weights about 4 times over the last 25 years. It's one of the biggest struggles we have. That is a rule that is really, really hard to change. And but we get, no matter where that weight is, we get comments about how the weight is too light, this position. So I'm going to read you a couple of excerpts from our UC sounding board. And get your thoughts, because these are people writing in saying, hey, listen to me. This is important. One of the concerns I had during the season was the size difference. Obviously, not all kids are built the same, whether that be size or skill. I helped coach for a scout team. We were a good team, but we were very undersized. We were a B2 team, and I hate that perception of a B2 team. If you're a B2 team, you're a B team. By the end of the season, we're playing almost exclusively A teams, which means they had a very successful first 5 weeks. If they were a B team and then they ended up playing A teams, they were slotted against tougher talent going into the end of the season. We had 0 X-Men on our team, and oftentimes we were playing teams that had over 5 of them. So, yeah, that's possible. I give credits to our kids. They did the best they could, but they were outmatched. Basically, the end result was they were outmatched. He has asked that his ideas to fix this was schedule in based on how many X-Men are on a team. I don't know how we do that because we don't even know that the time we're doing a schedule, and we have less than a week to do a schedule. Implement a max weight limit for each player. And then if they're over that weight, they have to have a double X and they have to move up in age. What are your thoughts?
I mean, there's a lot of things to consider there because if you look at the scout level, yeah, there is quite a difference in the size of the kids, but a lot of times you look at, let's say we do the double X and we move them up a weight level. A lot of the kids, like maturity-wise and that kind of stuff, just because they're bigger doesn't mean they're more aggressive and stuff like that. So you're going to put one of those kids into a weight level where maybe it reverses on them and they're getting kind of dominated and stuff like that. But
well, the data, to expound on your point, the data from the insurance companies says age has more determination on kids and quote-unquote injuries than weight does.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, your big kids can't catch the little kids.
And for the most part, I mean, if you look at it in a game situation, unless you're looking straight in the trenches on the line, a lot of times some of the smaller kids aren't going to be going up against the bigger kids. And I'm concerned with safety just like everyone else. But I can recall when I was coaching out at Harriman, one time we had a team that was huge, and we went up and played a Brighton team, and I'm like, okay, where's their linemen? I mean, we got a bunch of wide receivers coming out on the field. And those guys worked us. I mean, technique, they didn't come and try to blow us off the line and stuff. It's almost like they were setting screens.
Oh, absolutely.
Blocking, so the technique, the coaching.
I coached at Alta.
Yeah.
I coached at Alta. We didn't have a big guy in the whole program.
Yeah.
So it was run to your blocker's butt.
Yeah.
And you set a screen. Unless you were pancaked, we got the right ankle. We got a little bit of separation. We had a hole. We were going through it. We're scoring some points.
Yeah. So I've been out in the, like I say, the southwest area with Bingham and with Harriman and Mountain Ridge and I've been a mentor out in Granger and that kind of stuff where, those different districts are blessed with some bigger kids that come into the program, but not everybody's big out in those areas. But
no, in fact, we have the opposite problem in some of those districts where we have more X-Men than we actually have skill players. Yep. And that happens not frequently, but it does happen.
Yeah. So it definitely, getting back to kind of just wrap up what you're saying, it is intimidating. You can look at that kind of stuff, but I think it comes down to safety, coaching, all that kind of stuff where we can make it more fair, even though there is a huge variation in weight classes or weight size,
And it's not lost on us the fact that we have certain B teams that excel, and then they get pushed up based on the reset. And they're playing against tougher or higher talent. And they may not have the amount of X-Men that some of these teams do.
Yep.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't compete. Because our data shows they're not getting blown out. But then we got coaches that they don't think there should be a reset. They should go 9-0, beat everybody by 40 points.
Yeah.
And so here's another one. X-Men weights requirements are too tight. They're more strict than Pop Warner, which is true because a lot of your Pop Warners gone to unlimited weights in all their divisions. Kids are evolving. I believe an X should be able to play tight end, and you create an O player requirement that would make them be eligible receivers in the tight end position. Solution: adding a requirement for a player who's no more than 15 to 20 pounds over the X weight to be an O. Didn't we have this rule at one point?
Yeah, we did. We had the O classification. I can't remember how many years ago, but yeah, we did.
And it got dropped.
Yeah.
Did it impact our game?
To be honest with you, no. I don't remember it even, what timeline it was or any of that stuff. I don't remember any feedback or any, not that big of a deal.
But it's being brought up again, and it will be a proposal this year. I don't know if it'll grab legs or it won't grab legs. Let me throw this out. Nationally, the trend is to go at least the 7th grade and above, your gridiron, your bantam age, no weights, no weight limits. Now, I don't believe in 100 years that would ever gain legs, get past in the Ute Conference. That's the trend nationally. That the data is showing that the injuries, there's no more injuries in an unlimited game than there is with X-Men. We made a lot of changes to our X-Men rule. I mean, it used to be an X-Men had to line up shoulder on the outside shoulder of the tackle, and they had to play the interior line of scrimmage. Now an X-Men can line up anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Going unlimited?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, definitely it brings up some concerns. But it all goes back to what I was talking about, coaching. If you have kids that are on a team and we're going to go and run drills or stuff like that. But I think at a game level, it definitely opens up like at the Bantam level, and back when we had juniors and that kind of stuff. I think it goes back to responsibility with coaches and that kind of stuff. I don't see a huge concern for it.
Do you think it would ever pass?
I don't know. It's a good question.
In our current climate where everybody is screaming safety, safety, safety.
Yeah.
Now, we're not going to do anything that, one, isn't backed by data, and two, if it gets too crazy, the insurance companies won't cover us. But they're covering these leagues all around the country. So now the last item to talk to you about is there was a lot of noise about the 14-year-olds playing down in the Bantam division this year. We had, I don't have my numbers here in front of me. Oh, maybe I do. In 2020, we had 190 14-year-olds playing in the Bantam division. They had a Z requirement. In 2021, we removed that Z requirement. We put the 13 and 14-year-olds together. We had 247. In 2020, that was 3.3% of our total players. 2021, that was 3.4% of our players. Did you see from your experience on the field the 14-year-olds having any impact on those games?
I know there was a lot of buzz going on before the season, but no, I didn't. I thought they complemented each other very well. I didn't hear a lot of, feedback after the season started, any concerns, any problems, any of that kind of stuff. So I felt they blended very well together.
But many parents feel like kids were intentionally staying back from high school to play in Little League for one more year. That didn't happen. If you're a player, doesn't matter if you're 80 pounds and you're a player and you're 14 years old and you can play at the high school, you're going to play at the high school. Is that not correct?
Yeah.
What about your son? Would he have played at the high school?
Yeah, he did. At his freshman year, he played at Harriman High.
But that's when we had junior teams.
Yeah. Yeah, and he had a choice. Hey, you're going to, probably not get a lot of snaps here. You can do this, and he was kind of a tweener at that side. at that age group. So kind of not the biggest kid. He was really tall, but yeah, he ended up playing there.
So did he fare all right at the high school?
He did. And there were some kids in that same age group that really excelled, and then there are others that, interacting with the high school coach was really good at that time. And he would give his kind of viewpoints like, hey, I think you should stay down in Little League another year and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, just overall evaluation, safety, how they're going to get better developed, if they're going to take snaps at the Ute Conference level or at high school to get them ready for, when it really matters when they get up in the varsity level.
So, final thoughts from Dave Blonquist. Oh, my goodness. I've never seen him speechless yet. Oh, wow. Hey, are you recording this?
Yeah. Yeah, I really think, a lot of the stuff that we've talked about today comes back to, how we communicate better with our districts, our interaction with our coaches, feedback. You talked about the chat page for parents and everybody to get on, and then just our, continued interaction with our coaches is just going to help us to address these things that we're talking about and to move forward.
So, what's your phone number?
I'm not going to say that on.
Oh, my gosh. You're really not?
Really?
I'm trying to get you his phone number because if you have a complaint, Dave Blonquist is the man. He will entertain every one of your phone calls.
I even have 2 phones.
That's why my point exactly. All right, Dave, thanks for spending a minute. I know you've had a crazy day at Comcast.
Yeah, love to.
What was crazy about it?
Just a bunch of installs and things going good and things going wrong. So
Are you one of those guys that get up on the ladder?
No, I'm the one that yell at the people that get up on the ladder.
All right, Dave Blonquist, Vice President of the Executive Board of the Ute Conference. Jeff Gorange, as always, Marcus and John just tearing it up back there. And Vicky. Wouldn't you like to see Vicky on one of these podcasts?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think you can help me?
Then I can sit over where she is right now and razz her while she's talking.
Oh, is she sending you texts while we're doing this?
Just making gestures and stuff and laughing.
Oh, my goodness. Vicky, your spot's open right here. All right, Jeff Gorange, Dave Blonquist, thanks for joining us. We're out.